Hello, welcome to Decision Night 2020. Tonight, the number one race that we are looking at is the presidential race. This is between Mr. Bernie Sanders, who's the independent senator from Vermont, and Mr. Donald Trump, who is the incumbent president. Other races we are watching is the race to control the House of Representatives. Democrats are favored in this race, with Nancy Pelosi as their leader, taking on Kevin McCarthy, who is the Republican leader. In addition, Democrats are trying to take back the Senate for the first time since the 2014 election. We have Chuck Schumer, who is representing the Democratic Party, and Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate Majority Leader for the Republican Party. We're also looking at a few close gubernatorial polls, namely the closest one is the state of New Hampshire. But we have Jay Inslee, who's representing the Democrats, and Larry Hogan, who's representing the Republicans. This is Decision Night 2020. Let's take a look at some media predictions for how the media thinks this will turn out. CNN predicts that the Democratic candidate, Bernie Sanders, will win with 314 electoral votes to Mr. Trump's 179. MSNBC predicts that Bernie Sanders will win with 308 electoral votes to Mr. Trump's 179. And Fox News thinks that Bernie Sanders will not win but will be favored to win with 262 electoral votes to Mr. Trump's 208. This is the maps that we're starting off with. Of course, each candidate starting with 0 electoral votes. In the Senate, 35 Senate seats for the Democrats are not up for re-election, and 30 Republican seats are not up for re-election. In the governorships across the country, 20 Democratic governors are not up for re-election, and 20 Republican governors are not up for re-election. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the 7 p.m. poll logins in Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, have a lot of state winners. In the state of Vermont, the first projection of the night, Bernie Sanders wins his home state by a very comfortable margin. In Kentucky, Donald Trump will take home that state, and it's 8 electoral votes. A lot of love for Mr. Trump in the state of Kentucky. He will also take South Carolina, and it's 9 electoral votes. Our first Senate projection, Mark Warner will be re-elected in the state of Virginia. Lindsey Graham re-elected in South Carolina. In Indiana, the governor's race, Eric Holcomb will be re-elected governor of Indiana. In the state of Vermont, Phil Scott will be re-elected in the state of Vermont. It is too close to call in many states, too close to call in Indiana, the presidential race. Too close to call between Bernie Sanders and Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump has a very comfortable lead. In Virginia, also too close to call Bernie Sanders with a commanding lead over Mr. Trump. In the state of Georgia, it is very, very close, but Mr. Trump has a very slight lead in the state of Georgia. In the state of Kentucky, a very hotly contested Senate race between Mitch McConnell, he is the Republican leader, he's in the fight for his political life against Amy McGrath. She ran unsuccessfully in Kentucky's 6th district in 2018, but the incumbent senator is ahead. In the state of Georgia, the Senate race between David Perdue and Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams narrowly lost in 2018. She is narrowly losing right now to David Perdue, the incumbent senator. Looking at the 2020 electoral map, we have 3 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 17 for Mr. Trump. In the race to control the Senate, 36 Democrats, 31 Republicans, and 22 Republicans and 20 Democrats in the governor's races. It is now 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot of projections in West Virginia. Donald Trump will be the winner in West Virginia. In Indiana, we're now getting a call out of Indiana. Donald Trump wins in Indiana. In Virginia, a kind of swing state, not really, but Bernie Sanders wins in the state of Virginia. In West Virginia, Shelley Moore Capito, she will be re-elected in West Virginia. In North Carolina, Roy Cooper, the incumbent governor, he will be re-elected. In West Virginia, the governor's race will go to Jim Justice. Mr. Trump did a lot of heavy campaigning for this person. It is too close to call in a few states. In Ohio, this is a very hotly contested battleground state. Mr. Trump must win it if he wants to have any shot at winning the presidency. 18 electoral votes he must win. Bernie Sanders is slightly ahead in Ohio. In North Carolina, Bernie Sanders slightly behind Mr. Trump, who is slightly ahead of Mr. Sanders, but very close in North Carolina. There's also a hotly contested Senate race in North Carolina between incumbent Republican Senator Tom Tillis and Democratic challenger Andy Fox. This race is too close to call. In presidential race, the electoral map, 16 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 33 for Mr. Trump. In the Senate race, the race to 51, Mr. Schumer has 36 seats in his bag, 32 seats for Mitch McConnell. Now, in the governor's race, 21 Democrats, 23 Republicans. It's now 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot of projections right now. In Alabama, Donald Trump will win. He will win in Oklahoma. He will win in Mississippi and Tennessee. Mr. Trump winning in all those states. Bernie Sanders, he will win in Rhode Island with 4 electoral votes. In Illinois with 20 electoral votes. In Washington, D.C. with 3 electoral votes. In Delaware with 3 electoral votes. In the state of Connecticut with 7 electoral votes. In New Jersey, 14 electoral votes. In the state of Maine, 3 out of their 4 electoral votes in the state of Maine. In Maryland, all 10 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders, the state of Massachusetts. In New Hampshire, a close swing state going to Mr. Sanders at poll closing time. Now let's go over some of the Senate races. Lamar Alexander, he will be re-elected in Tennessee. Cindy Hyde-Smith will be re-elected in the state of Mississippi. Oklahoma, Jim Inhofe will be re-elected. In Rhode Island, Jack Reed re-elected. Dick Durbin will be re-elected. In Delaware, Chris Coons re-elected. Ed Markey re-elected. In Massachusetts, Jeanne Shaheen will be re-elected. In New Hampshire, hotly contested swing state, going for the Democrats, no surprise. With Cory Booker in the state of New Jersey, he will be re-elected. Mike Parson, who was appointed after Eric Greitens was retired, he will be elected governor of Missouri. John Carney will be re-elected governor of Delaware. It is too close to call in Pennsylvania. Mr. Trump needs to win Pennsylvania if he wants to win the presidency. But Bernie Sanders is comfortably ahead of Mr. Trump at this hour. In the state of Florida, Bernie Sanders narrowly ahead of Mr. Trump, but we still have a lot of Republican precincts left to report in Florida. 29 electoral votes at stake. In Missouri, this is quite a surprise. Mr. Trump thought he had this one in the bag, but it is too close to call Mr. Trump comfortably ahead of Mr. Sanders at this point. And in the 2nd District of Maine, it is a dead heat between Bernie Sanders and Mr. Trump. In Alabama, the Senate race here, quite close, but Republicans are favored here. Jeff Sessions, who, this is his old Senate seat, he is currently comfortably ahead of incumbent Democratic Senator Doug Jones. In the state of Maine, Susan Collins in the fight for her political life against Susan Rice. Susan Rice has a comfortable 5-point lead over Susan Collins. In New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan, the former governor, trying to get her governor's mansion back, trying to take down Chris Sununu, the Republican incumbent. Let's take a look at the presidential race. We have 95 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 66 for Mr. Trump in the race to control the Senate, 42 Democrats, 35 Republicans in the governor's mansions, 22 Democratic governors, 24 Republican governors in the race to 26. Now let's take a look at the 8:30 hour poll closings. We have 2 major projections. In the presidential race, we can project Donald Trump will win in the state of Arkansas. We can also project that Tom Cotton, he will be re-elected in the state of Arkansas. In the presidential map, you can see Mr. Trump building on that, and the Republicans adding one to their Senate map with the state of Arkansas, no change on the gubernatorial map. Now let's take a look at the 9 p.m. poll closings. We have a lot of projections, starting off with a major projection. We can project that the Republicans, they will control the majority of governor's mansions in the United States. We can have this major projection. This is a big deal for the Republicans. They were favorites, but they now win most of the governor's mansions. Even though we cannot project that they will get to 26, we can project that they will get to 25, and there's enough safe governor's mansions later on that will get them to where they need. So let's take a look at the state winners. Kansas, Mr. Trump wins Kansas, Louisiana, Nebraska, 4 out of their 5 electoral votes. He will win North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming, all those 3 states. He will also win Texas, a big prize for Mr. Trump, 38 electoral votes. He will win Missouri, previously too close to call. He will win Missouri, and it's 10 electoral votes. Bernie Sanders wins the swing state of Colorado. He will win in New Mexico. He will win Minnesota. He will win in the state of New York. And we have a major flip right now. We can now project that Bernie Sanders, he will win in Michigan. This is a game for the Democrats. He upsetted Hillary Clinton in 2016 in the primary. He will upset Mr. Trump in Michigan again. Bernie Sanders wins 16 electoral votes from the state of Michigan. This changes the entire game. Mr. Trump now needs to pretty much sweep all the swing states in order to win the presidency. Nebraska, Ben Sasse, re-elected. Mike Enzi, re-elected. The Republican incumbent Mike Rounds of South Dakota. He will be re-elected. We project the first Republican game of the night. Jeff Sessions, he will be elected the next senator from the state of Alabama. In New Mexico, Tom Udall, he will be re-elected. Tina Smith, re-elected. In North Dakota, Doug Burgum, he will be re-elected governor of North Dakota. It is too close to call in Wisconsin, but Bernie Sanders has a commanding lead over Mr. Trump at this point. The state of Arizona, a hotly contested swing state. Both sides fight for tooth and nail for this one, and also for the Senate race in the state of Arizona. But at this point in time, Mr. Trump, he is leading. In Arizona, John Hickenlooper currently is ahead of Republican incumbent Senator Cory Gardner of Colorado. In Louisiana, we can project that this will go to the runoff. We can project that Bill Cassidy and Cedric Richmond, they will be advancing to the runoff. We don't know who will win the runoff, but the GOP is the favorite to win the runoff in the state of Louisiana. In Texas, a household name twice in a row, Beto O'Rourke, trying to grab down John Cornyn. At the moment, he has a comfortable lead over Mr. Cornyn. At this point in the state of Kansas, James Thompson trying to take down Pat Roberts. Pat Roberts is slightly ahead. In the state of Michigan, Gary Peters is ahead of John James in Michigan. In Arizona, Janet Napolitano is ahead of Jan Brewer in the Arizona Senate race. In the race for the presidency, race to 270, 164 for Mr. Sanders, 147 for Mr. Trump, 44 Democrats, 40 Republicans. There you can see, even though we have not projected that Republicans will win 26 seats, we can project that they have enough seats to win, because as of right now, they are a heavy favorite to win in Utah, and they are leading New Hampshire. So those 2 states could put them over the top of 26 governor's mansions. Now, 10 p.m. hour, we have a lot to get to. A state call. Pennsylvania goes to Bernie Sanders, 20 electoral votes. Mr. Sanders will win Pennsylvania. In Utah, Mr. Trump wins in the state of Utah. He wins in Montana. We have a major projection right now. Gary Peters, he will win In the state of Michigan, John Hickenlooper, this is a pickup for the Democrats. Cory Gardner going down as a loser tonight. That cancels out the Republicans' gain in Alabama to a net 0 gain for either side. John Hickenlooper wins in the state of Colorado. We can have a major projection right now. John Cornyn, he will win in Texas, and this is what puts the Republicans over the top. Josh Romney, son of Mitt Romney, he will be elected the next governor of the state of Utah. In Montana, Brian Schweitzer, he will be coming back for his old seat in the governor's contest. It is too close to call in the Iowa presidential race. It's a dead heat right now between Mr. Trump and Mr. Sanders. Bernie Sanders has a comfortable lead over Mr. Trump because Clark County just came in for Mr. Sanders. We can expect this one to go to the Democrats at the end of the night. In the state of Montana, this is a hotly contested race between Steve Bullock, the incumbent governor, and Steve Daines, the incumbent senator. Hotly contested race. My apologies. This is a Republican seat. In the state of Iowa, Fred Hubbell, who ran for the governorship in 2018 unsuccessfully, he is trying to take down Joni Ernst in the state of Iowa. In the presidential race, Bernie Sanders is on the verge of winning the presidency of the United States because if you look, he is ahead in Nevada, he's ahead in Wisconsin, he's ahead in Florida, and all these 4 states will go to him. Bernie Sanders could be about to win the presidency. In the race for the Senate, 56 Democrats, 41 Republicans, 26 Republicans, and 23 Democrats at this hour. Now we can project 11 p.m. We have a major projection right now. We can project that the presidency of the United States, Democrats and Bernie Sanders, they will win the presidency of the United States. This is a huge projection that we have now made. We can project that Bernie Sanders has enough electoral votes to win the presidency of the United States. This is a massive flip. Democrats will now control the House and the presidency at least. We have another massive, huge projection to make. Right now, we can go to the projection. Here we go. Democrats, they will control the United States Senate. Democrats will be in charge of the U.S. Senate. This means that Bernie Sanders will have the presidency, the Senate, and the House all to play with to get things done, I guess, for the people, I guess. Maybe not, you never know. We have a lot of state winners. We have a massive split right now. The state of Wisconsin, we can project Bernie Sanders wins Wisconsin. He will win California, a big prize. He will win Oregon and the state of Washington. He will also win the state of Hawaii. He will win the 2nd district in the state of Maine. He will win the 2nd district in the state of Nebraska as well. He will also win in the state of Nevada. We can now project that Mr. Trump will win in Idaho, a bit of silver lining for the Republicans, and the Republican incumbent Senator Jim Risch, he will be re-elected senator from Iowa. We can project Jeff Merkley will be re-elected senator from Oregon. Brian Schatz will be re-elected. David Perdue, this is a major projection. Stacey Abrams will once again come up a little bit short in taking down the Republicans. David Perdue will be re-elected in the United States Senate race in Georgia. We can project in the state of Maine a hotly contested race. Suzanne Collins going down. Her vote for Brett Kavanaugh really cost her in the blue state of Maine. And Suzanne Rice, she will be elected next senator from Maine. We can project Jay Inslee will be re-elected governor of Washington. Now we can see the presidential race, 280 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 160 for Mr. Trump. Now, even though Democrats haven't gotten to the 50 they need to win the Senate, we have enough information based on the outstanding states, even though not all of them will break the Democrats' way, we can project that there will probably be enough that will break the Democrats' way. We don't know which ones yet though, but we can say that there will be enough for Democrats to win at least 50 seats in the Senate. We can project in the governor's mentions 23 Democrats, 26 Republicans, New Hampshire, the last outstanding state. We have some major calls to make right now. The presidential race in Georgia, hotly contested Senate races in North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas, and the governor's race in New Hampshire. We have a state winner. Right now in Georgia, Mr. Trump will win in Georgia with its 16 electoral votes. We have a massive call right now. Mitch McConnell, he will be re-elected in the state of Kentucky. He hangs on by the tiniest of tiny margins, and he will be re-elected in Kentucky. In Kansas, Pat Roberts, we can project, will be re-elected in the state of Kansas, and this officially puts Democrats over the top. In North Carolina, Tom Tillis loses to Anthony Fox, the Democrat. Anthony Fox will be elected the next senator from the state of North Carolina, and we can also project an upset in the New Hampshire governor race. Maggie Hassan, she will be the next governor of New Hampshire. All the polls said the Republicans would win, but Maggie Hassan will be elected the next governor of New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders being on the ticket really helped her. 280 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 176 for Mr. Trump, 50 Democrats in the Senate, 45 Republicans in the Senate, and 24 Democrats and 26 Republicans in the House of Representatives. So that's just one. We have a major projection right now in the state of Alaska. Mr. Trump, he will win those 3 electoral votes. Dan Sullivan, he will be re-elected in Alaska. In North Carolina, we have a massive projection. Bernie Sanders, he will win in the state of North Carolina with its 15 electoral votes. But in Ohio, Mr. Trump, he will win in the state of Ohio with 18 electoral votes. A big win for Mr. Trump in Ohio. He will also win in the state of Iowa with its 6 electoral votes. Now let's take a look at the presidential race. We have 295 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 203 for Mr. Trump, 50 Democrats, 46 Republicans, 24 Democrats, 26 Republicans in the governor's mansion. Now let's take a look at the state polls for the Senate races in Iowa, Montana, and Arizona. We have a state winner right now, again for the Democrats in Iowa, Fred Hubble. He will be the next senator from Iowa. One gain after another for the Democrats in Montana. Steve Bullock, the current governor, he will be the next senator from the state of Montana. And another gain for the Democrats. Janet Napolitano, she will be elected the next senator from Arizona. 3 net gains for the Democrats here. This is a blue wave. We have 295 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 203 for Mr. Trump, 53 Democrats, 46 Republicans, 24 Democrats, 26 Republicans. And we have some fun election predictions. Breaking news. It is too close to call in Arizona. It's within the margin of error. It's within the recount margin. This will go to a recount, and same thing with Florida. Bernie Sanders is ahead, but this will still go to a recount. We have some fun election predictions. Breaking news. Each day this gets closer, so we're going to just keep going. We have a major projection to make right now. In the state of Arizona, Mr. Trump will win that state, and it's 11 electoral votes in the state of Arizona. Then you see the presidential race, 295 electoral votes for Mr. Sanders, 214 for Mr. Trump. Now let's take a look at the race to control the Senate. 53 Democrats, 46 Republicans. Apologies for that error in the back there. But 24 Democrats, 26 Republicans there. We have this is fun election predictions, breaking news. Bernie Sanders, he is so close. The recount has narrowed and narrowed. And this is fun election predictions, breaking news. It's now a dead heat, exactly the same amount for Mr. Trump and Mr. Sanders. This is fun election predictions, breaking news. But in the end, Mr. Sanders wins by the tiniest margins. Apologies for the error there. This says Bernie Sanders, he will be elected 53 to 46 in the Senate, 24 to 26 in the governor's mansion. Now, this is the runoff in Louisiana. It is December 6, 2018. We have a state call in Louisiana, Bill Cassidy. He will be re-elected senator of Louisiana. There you see the electoral map, the Senate map, the correct Senate map, and the governor's map. This is the final final presidential makeup. 324 for Mr. Sanders, 214 for Mr. Trump. You can see 53 Democrats, 47 Republicans in the Senate. If you try and find your home state, if it is pure blue, that means you are representing two Democratic senators. If it's pure red, that means it's two Republican senators. And if it's a purple state, that means you have one Democrat and one Republican representing in Washington. Now, in the governor's races, you can see if you have red, if you're in a state that's colored in red, you have a Republican governor, and if it's blue, it's a Democratic governor. And thank you so much for watching this video. It is much, much appreciated. And thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I really appreciate it. This was my 200 subscriber special. I really do hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this video. And thank you so much. Fun election.